In this video, I'm going to be talking about how to come up with more ideas for your drawings. So, I don't know about you guys, but I think that there's no worse feeling in the world than you finally have time to draw, you finish school, you finish work, you finish that aggravatingly huge project that's been keeping you from drawing, and you finally sit down at the canvas, you're getting ready to make some art, and then you got nothing. You got absolutely nothing. And you just stare at the canvas and you waste all the time you had to do something for yourself, and then you get pissed and life sucks. So I wrote down a couple of things that I wanted to share that have helped me in my experience, and hopefully they help you too. So that way when you get to draw, you actually have something to draw. So the first and the very biggest thing is, it's also probably the most obvious, is write them down. When you come up with cool ideas, write them down, even if the list gets huge, because there's not actually an obligation to finish anything once it's in writing. But I think that it's better that you have a huge list of things to go through, and you can scroll through it and find one that you like, and you're like, hey, actually, this thing would be pretty cool. And not only do you have an option for one thing to draw, you have options for several things to draw, and then you can kind of pick and choose your favorite, because you might be up for that super ambitious idea, or you feel like you're not ready for it yet and you just want to take it easy. So if you have a list of a lot of things, you actually get to pick. And it's better than having no ideas at all, because you're just like, I had a really cool idea that one time, but I don't remember what it is. So the first one is write things down. The second one is to come up with a story, or OCs. So if you come up with your own characters, you come up with their world or the lore behind it, it will kind of give you creative inspiration for your own personal projects, because you'll be like, I want to come up with this character design, or this character is pretty cool. How would they interact with this other character? And that type of deal. So as you are coming up with an idea of what to draw, you're also doubling up by creating like the lore around your world. I actually did this for several years when I was a little kid. I had sketchbooks upon sketchbooks, slowly developing the world of a manga that I actually did end up making. And the story was really fleshed out, and I knew what everyone looked like, just because I had drawn them so many times. So it'd be like, hey, what if my OC, got ice cream? What if my OC had a death match with a pinball machine? Like a lot of really weird prompts, but it gives you a point of reference, which actually leads me into the third thing. Limit yourself, have a challenge. So if you go into a drawing and you deliberately give yourself a limitation, your brain will want to kind of work around that limitation. But I don't know what I'm doing, but this drawing somehow needs to involve skateboards. You immediately have a limiter, and you kind of start to form something around that. Are you going to draw just a skateboard, your character on the skateboard, a skateboard tattoo, somebody interacting with it, the lore about the god of demon skateboards who has come to this world to kill everybody on rollerblades? If you actually come up with a limitation, it helps you kind of within that little creative box. And also, another thing is to actually challenge yourself in a different sense. Maybe you want to practice a 3/4 headshot. Maybe you want to practice backgrounds. Maybe you want to practice a certain kind of pose, that can also be something too. And I've done that a lot. It's just saying, I want to draw something. I don't know what it is, but I want it to be in a really dynamic, fluid 3D pose or something like that. The next one is fan art. So if you are inspired by a series, maybe draw a scene from it, or maybe an alternate universe, any kind of crossovers or shipping, if that's your thing. It's just like, hey, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse or Across the Spider-Verse, those are really good examples. It's like, well, here is Spider-Man, here is Cowboy Spider-Man, here is futuristic Spider-Man, here is all sorts of deal. And it doesn't have to be Spider-Man, it can actually be like your own characters or fan art characters. But if you are combining or mixing and matching things, while you are still drawing fan art, you still get to flex your creative muscles and you come up with something entirely new. I've done some crossover and mix mash stuff before, like this cyberpunk Edge Runners type of deal, along with Samus. So it's like two IPs that don't necessarily click together initially, but once you find a way to make them work, you're just like, hey, wait, that's actually a really cool hybrid that kind of came as a result by accident. And the last thing, just to kind of keep these short, is to not draw. Get away from your computer, get away from your canvas or your piece of paper. Live life, go play some video games, go watch your favorite TV shows, get some inspiration. If I hit a wall, even with all of these fail safes, and I cannot come up with anything to draw, I know that maybe it's time to fill the noodle with something that's gonna inspire me. So, go play a video game, go play sports, go do something that maybe isn't art related. Take a break and don't worry about it for a little while. I find that just usually helps me, because if you live life in between, by the time you're getting back to drawing, you're refreshed and you're actually in a good mood. You want to draw, and since you're inspired, you're usually going to come up with an idea along the way, and it'll just flow a lot better than if you're just headbutting the canvas and trying to brute force it, because you are smart. Your brain will figure out something to draw, but don't torture it. It's just, if you need a break, take a break. There might be a reason that you can't come up with anything. But yeah, if you guys have any other pointers or any creative things that you do to get drawing, let me know. I'd actually love to hear them in the comments. Sorry if this went by a little fast. I don't have a script. I just have bullet points on my phone. And yeah, hopefully you guys learned something. Hopefully this works for you, and hopefully you come up with something cool to draw. So I will see you later. Bye. Also, if you like my art style and you want me to draw your OCs or any of your fan arts or anything like that, my commissions are open. I'll just drop the link to those in the description. It might actually make its way into a video. Okay, now bye for real.